Okay, listen, I gotta tell you about this thing that happened to me a few years back, and I'm not one of those people who buys into all that supernatural crap, you know? I'm a software engineer, for crying out loud. Everything's got code behind it, bugs or features, nothing more. But this messed with my head in a way I can't shake, like it was some glitch in reality itself. I've never really shared the full story with anyone, not even my family back in India, because they'd probably think I've been working too many late nights or something. Anyway, pull up a chair or whatever, 'cause this is gonna take a bit to unpack. So picture this. I'm Raj, right? 35 at the time, living in this quiet suburb outside Chicago in a little 2-story house I bought after scraping together a down payment from freelance gigs. It's nothing fancy, just a cozy spot with a home office upstairs where I spend most of my days staring at screens, debugging apps for some startup that thinks they're the next big thing in fintech. My setup's pretty standard. A beefy laptop on a cluttered desk, dual monitors for when I'm deep in code, and yeah, one of those smart speakers, the little black cylinder kind that sits there like a silent butler waiting for me to bark commands at it. Hey, play some lo-fi beats, that sort of thing. Helps me focus when the house feels too empty. And it did feel empty back then. See, I'd lost my dog, Buddy, about 6 months before all this went down. He was this big, goofy golden retriever, pure sunshine on 4 legs, you know? Got him as a pup when I first moved to the States, back when I was fresh out of grad school and feeling like a total outsider. Buddy was my constant tail wagging every time I came home, even on the crap days when clients were yelling about deadlines. He got old, though. Arthritis hit him hard, and one morning he just didn't wake up. Vet said it was peaceful, natural causes, but man, it gutted me. I'd find myself glancing at his empty bed in the corner of the living room, or hearing phantom scratches at the door that turned out to be nothing but the wind. Grief's a weird beast. It sneaks up on you during quiet moments, like when you're alone in the house coding late into the night. That office of mine overlooked the backyard, with a window that let in this soft evening light on good days. I'd rigged up a security camera down in the living room, nothing high-tech, just one of those cheap Wi-Fi ones you link to an app on your phone or laptop. It was more for peace of mind, especially since I travel sometimes for work conferences, and the neighborhood had a couple break-ins a while back. The app would ping me with motion alerts, show live feeds, that kind of stuff. Worked fine most days, no issues. But yeah, working from home meant my life was all tangled up in tech. Emails pinging, speakers humming, screens glowing. It was my bubble, you know? Kept the loneliness at bay after Buddy was gone. Wait. Let me back up a sec. I'm rambling already, but that's how it feels retelling this. The point is, everything was normal, boring even. I'd wake up, brew some chai, proper stuff, not that weak teabag nonsense. Head upstairs, log in, and grind through code reviews. Evenings were the same. Maybe order takeout from that Indian place down the street, binge some Netflix, crash. But that grief, it lingered like a background process I couldn't kill. I'd catch myself talking to the empty air sometimes like, "Hey boy, you want a treat?" before remembering he wasn't there. Stupid stuff, but it hit hard. I tried rationalizing it away, told myself it was just adjustment, maybe even considered getting another dog, but nah. Not yet. Too raw. One evening, though, and this is where it starts getting weird, I'm deep in a debugging session, probably around 8 p.m., the house all quiet except for the hum of my laptop fan. Sun's dipped low, casting these long shadows through the window, and I've got the smart speaker playing some ambient rain sounds to drown out the neighbor's lawnmower. Suddenly, my phone buzzes on the desk. Not a text or call, but the security app notification. You know how those are, right? A little pop-up saying, "Motion detected in living room." I glance at it, figuring it's a moth, or maybe the curtains shifting from the AC vent. No big deal. I swipe it open, and there's the live feed. My empty living room, couch looking as lumpy as ever. Buddy's old blanket still folded on the armrest because I couldn't bring myself to toss it. Everything looks normal. Dim light from the lamp I left on, no movement. But the app had activated itself, like it decided to wake up on its own. I remember chuckling to myself, thinking, great, another bug in the software. Figures, even my home security's got glitches. As a dev, I'm used to that. Apps misbehaving, false positives. I tried to convince myself it was just that, Maybe a firmware update gone wrong or some server-side hiccup. But deep down, there was this tiny flicker of unease, like why now? Why in the living room where Buddy used to curl up? I shook it off, closed the app, and dove back into work. But yeah, that was the first thread, the setup for whatever the hell came next. Looking back, I wonder if that was the moment something, I don't know, latched on. Sounds crazy, but grief does that. Makes you see patterns where there aren't any. Anyway, I kept working, but my mind wandered a bit. Buddy had this habit of wandering into the living room after dinner, paws clicking on the hardwood floor, circling the coffee table before flopping down with a big sigh. God, I missed that sound. The house felt so damn silent without it. I'd even left his water bowl out for a while, half expecting to hear him lapping at it. Pathetic, right? But that's loss for you. It carves out these hollow spaces. That night, as I'm typing away, trying to fix this stubborn API call that's erroring out, the app pings again. Same deal, motion detected. I open it up on my laptop this time, easier to see on the bigger screen. And there's the feed, live and clear. Empty room. Or, wait, not quite. At the edge of the frame, there's this faint shimmer, like pixelation from a bad connection. I lean in, squinting through my glasses, and my heart does this little skip. It looks like fur? Golden fur moving just out of focus. No way, I think. Has to be a reflection or something. I refresh the feed and it's gone. Rational me kicks in. Raj, you're seeing things. Too much screen time, not enough sleep. But I couldn't let it go. I stared at that empty screen for a good minute, waiting for it to happen again, my chai going cold beside me. You might think I'm nuts for fixating, but listen, when you've lost something that close, your brain plays tricks. I even got up, stretched my legs, wandered downstairs to check the living room myself. Nothing there, just the faint smell of dust and that old dog blanket, which still had a whiff of Buddy's scent if I buried my nose in it. Creepy? Maybe, but it was comforting in a sad way. I poked at the camera, made sure it was secure on its mount, no loose wires, all good. Back upstairs I tried to focus, but that glitch stuck in my craw. Tech's supposed to be reliable, right? That's my whole job, making it so. Hours ticked by and I'm pushing through, ignoring the growing chill in the air. Chicago evenings can turn nippy, even inside. The smart speakers still droning those rain sounds, lulling me into a rhythm. Then, out of nowhere, the app doesn't just ping, it full-on activates on my laptop screen, overlaying my code editor like it hijacked the display. What the hell? I mutter, trying to minimize it, but it won't budge. The feed pops up, and this time, oh man, this time it's not empty. There's a shape entering the frame from the left, slow and deliberate, like it's padding across the floor. It's fuzzy at the edges, pixelated like a video game glitch, but the form is unmistakable. A golden retriever, head low, tail swaying just a bit. My breath catches it's Buddy, or something that looks exactly like him. The way he moves, that familiar trot, the slight limp from his bad hip in those last months. I freeze, staring, my hands hovering over the keyboard. No, I whisper to myself, this is a hack, some asshole's messing with my feed. But even as I say it, doubt creeps in. Who would do that? And how? The dog's form wanders into the center of the room, pauses, sniffs at the air, pixelated edges flickering like bad compression artifacts, and then it looks right at the camera, right at me, through the screen. My gut twists like hell. I tried to convince myself it was just a deep fake or something, you know? Tech's advanced. Maybe some virus pulled old photos from my cloud and animated them. But that didn't explain the real-time feel of it, the way the light in the room cast shadows under those ghostly paws. And then, as if that wasn't enough to freak me out, the smart speaker cuts out the rain sounds mid-drip. Silence for a beat, and then a whine. That low, familiar whine Buddy used to make when he wanted attention, like a soft "aroo," followed by scratching. Not just any scratching, nails on wood, insistent, right at what sounds like the front door. But it's syncing with the video. On screen, the spectral dog turns toward the door, paws at it, and the audio matches perfectly, echoing through the speaker like it's happening live downstairs. I bolt up from my chair, heart pounding in my ears. This isn't real, I tell myself, pacing the office. Glitch, has to be. But my hands are shaking as I grab my phone, check the app there. Same feed, same ghostly Buddy now circling the couch, whining again through the speaker. The sound so vivid, I can almost feel the vibration in the air, that needy pitch he had when he sensed I was upset. Wait, let me think. Did I have any old recordings of him? Maybe the speaker pulled from my library. Nah, I deleted most of that stuff. It hurt too much to listen. This was new, fresh, like he was really there. I rushed downstairs, flipping on every light, half expecting to see paw prints or something. Empty. The door's locked, no scratches. But back upstairs, the feed's still going, the dog now lying down on his old spot in the rug, curling up like he used to. The speaker lets out one last sigh, that content huff after a long day. I sat there, watching, tears pricking my eyes, not from fear at first, but from this weird ache. Was this my grief manifesting, some psychological break? I tried recording the screen with my phone, but the app glitched again, and poof, the footage started deleting itself line by line, like it was erasing evidence. Gone, just vanished after I'd viewed it. No trace in the app's history, no cloud backup. I felt like I was losing my mind. Right around then, as I'm sitting there stunned, my email chimes, an alert pops up on the laptop, no sender listed, just a blank message. Subject line empty, body nothing but white space. Spam, right? Has to be. But the timing? Too coincidental, hitting just as the dog faded from the feed. I stared at it, my mind racing. Okay, Raj, calm down. Run a scan. I fired up my antivirus, checked for malware. Nothing. Rebooted everything, even unplugged the smart speaker for good measure. The whining stopped, the app went quiet, but that blank email sat there in my inbox like a taunt. You know, I didn't sleep much that night. Kept replaying it in my head, trying to poke holes in what I'd seen. Maybe it was a neighbor's dog that got in. But no, the house was locked up tight. Or a reflection from outside? The pixelation didn't fit. And the audio, God, that whine was Buddy's to a T, down to the little catch in his throat from when he got excited. I even called my sister in Mumbai the next morning, casual like, just to hear a familiar voice. Didn't tell her the details though, she'd worry I'd gone full workaholic hermit. But yeah, that escalation, it ramped up fast, blending all my tech crutches into this nightmare loop. The next day I couldn't just let it slide. I'm a problem solver by trade, so I dove in. First, I posted on some tech forums, anonymous of course, 'cause who wants their colleagues thinking they're seeing ghosts in their code? Described the glitch without the emotional baggage, app activating unprompted, anomalous footage, synced audio, auto-delete. Got a bunch of replies, mostly check your firmware, or sounds like a buffer overflow. One guy suggested it could be a deep learning artifact if the camera's AI was trained on pet videos or something. Made sense rationally. I ran diagnostics on everything. Laptop, phone, speaker, camera. Clean as a whistle. No hacks, no unusual network traffic. Even reached out to the app's support team, sent them logs. They confirmed no breaches, probably just a one-off bug they'd patch in the next update. The blank email, they shrugged it off as unrelated spam, maybe a glitch in my provider. And the audio could have been crosstalk from another device, though they couldn't replicate it. It all sounded so tidy. But here's the kicker, the thing that still chills me to this day. After all that, I go to reset the app on my phone and the icons changed. Not the usual camera lens. Now it's a paw print. Just a simple black outline of a dog's paw staring back at me from the home screen. I tried everything. Uninstall, reinstall, factory reset the phone. It comes back the same. Even on my laptop version, same deal. Experts I consulted online, they were stumped. Custom icon cache issue, one said, but no fix worked. It's permanent, like whatever caused that night branded itself into my digital life. I still think about it sometimes, you know. Wonder if it was Buddy's way of saying goodbye, or just my brain and tech conspiring against me in some grief-fueled glitch. I've adapted, used the app less, got a new dog eventually, a little mutt named Luna who fills the house with noise again. But every time I see that paw print icon, my stomach drops a bit. Makes me question if the lines between code and whatever else is out there are as solid as I thought. You might think it's all in my head, but listen, if it happens to you, don't brush it off. Some glitches don't debug easy. Anyway, that's my story. Lingers like a bad compile error, doesn't it?